Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Lawrence behind the camera. I'm right here in the city of San Pedro, Point Fermin Park. I'm about to go inside that lighthouse, the Point Fermin Lighthouse. And from here, I think I'm going to Lakewood Post Office to do an audit. Let's see what happens over there. Alright, you guys, so I'm about to go inside. It's a gift shop. Right there. The Point Fermin Lighthouse. Let me see if it's open. Wonder what time it is. I think I'll wait for the 2 o'clock tour. Alright, you guys. I want to find somebody that I can talk to.
Yes, by the way, my name's John. I'm glad you found the Point Fermin Lighthouse. Now, I see you have great camera equipment. They ask for no photography on the first 2 levels, but keep your camera handy because on the top 3 levels, take all the photos you want.
Okay, cool.
It's not my...
That probably kept the house warm as well as allowing you to cook it.
That's right. That's a good point because it could burn either coal or wood. Now they burn coal here because wood was in tight supply in Southern California. The only place you could find wood was up in the mountains. So they put the coal in here as much as they felt they could determine how hot it got by the air supply they let in, either here or there. And here's where ashes. But you brought up a good point. The whole house would be heated up with this. In the wintertime, that was great, but in the summertime, that's where we get the old saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So here we have a waffle iron. And when it was done on one side, you flip it like that to the other side. And the iron here, you would iron with them so it got too cold, you put it back on the hot stove, and you keep going. Just take it over to the oven like that and keep going.
That's really cool. My wife had a collection of old irons, 6 or 7 of them. You know, various different, and one of them has that where you can put the coals inside and then put the top on.
Yeah, well that chimney stack there in the middle is like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hers is not not as fancy as that, a little bit smaller.
Be sure and take a peek at this nice large walk-in pantry. It had to be large because the shipment food came to them from San Francisco every 3 or 4 months.
Oh,
The U.S. White House Service would send a tender ship with their food supply.
Right.
If they wanted anything fresh, however, they had to grow their own or find a local source.
what is this grind?
I'm sorry, what?
What is this grind?
That is a butter churn. Yeah, it's not your typical butter churn. And you see a tabletop butter churn right there.
When he was a little boy, Dad used to have to do the butter.
Really?
Yeah. Out of the farm.
How many earthquakes have survived?
One major one, and that was the Long Beach earthquake in 1933.
Mm-hmm.
The only real damage to the lighthouse was the chimneys had to be
Is that right?
rebuilt. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to point out the things that are obviously not original. However, there's some things you may wonder about, like the kick plates here on the stairs. These are not original. They were added for the heavy foot traffic of the museum.
Absolutely.
However, the banister is original to 1874. Please don't put your weight on it because it's in retirement.
Oh, yeah.
The kick plates are attractive though.
Oh, good. I always wondered why they put them there and not on any of the other stairs.
In my house, the steps going upstairs don't have kick plates, and for over the years, the wood there's grooves in the wood from
Stuffing
people's
and stuff.
toes that have actually worn away the wood, there's little grooves. So,
How old's your house?
the original part was in the 1870s, but then it's had additions.
Our husband's a
What part of?
wood guy.
Just outside of Akron, south of Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
So,
So, isn't Cleveland right on the southern border?
no, it's at the
Which one?
northern border.
Oh,
Up by Lake
What's
Erie.
the lake?
What's the name of the town?
Cincinnati.
That's right on the southern border.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, right
Right
over
across
there.
from Louisville.
Yes,
Exactly.
Ah,
exactly. My niece lived down there, grew up down there.
okay.
That's where
I've been to Louisville, and I've been to parts of Ohio, but just one time. I've been to all 50 states at one time
Oh,
or another.
that's cool,
Wish I could say that.
yeah.
And-
No, I recognize this. When I first came out here, we used to park in the lot and walk all the way out
Yeah.
to just before the bend, and then we go scuba diving. And I was diving with a bunch of Hawaiian guys, so basically it wasn't fun, it was dinner.
Mm.
And that's what they would do. They would shoot up a bunch of fish, and they dig them out, everybody would get
That's what we
their
did
share.
now.
and-
When we went to gas up, that's the one we went by?
Yeah, that's the one we went
One
by.
around that side.
Yeah, that's the next oldest one, the Angels Gate, built in 1913.
Okay.
They couldn't build it until the breakwater was completed in 1912.
Right.
But since it's right at the mouth of the harbor, the Port of LA begins right there, and it's a flashing green light at night only to help the ships find the mouth of the harbor. And this most recent one, built in 1926, is only 7 miles up the coast. Well, for that reason, they're at much more strategic points, and that's why this one was never relit after World War II.
Oh,
It makes a great historic museum, though.
Absolutely. Wow, cool. Yeah.
well,
The kids' room, hey.
yeah, attached to mom and dad's room, yep.
Wow.
Excuse me.
this is the keeper's office, where we have a montage of photos of the principal families that lived here over the years. And I love this photo. It's one of the earliest ones, just 4 years after the lighthouse is built. And you can see not only is there no trees, there's not even any bushes. That's how dry, desolate, and remote it was. Let me show you this photo as late as 1903. This is an actual photo. And we did our homework. This was a good year for rainfall. So this is what all of Southern California would look like during a good year for rain if we had no irrigation. But let me show you a dry year. 5 years later, here's the drought, here's the lighthouse in the distance, and what a dramatic difference. Huh?
boy.
And here is a montage of photos of the largest family that lived here at any one time, the Austins. It was keeper Will Austin, his jolly wife Marta. Her family was originally from Chihuahua area, Mexico. Most of the children were these young men, but the two eldest of the children were these feisty young ladies. Well, Thelma and Juanita became the last two official keepers in 1925 when their parents passed away just a few months apart. That makes our history very unusual because most lighthouses around the U.S. never had a single female operator, and we had 4. The first 2 were also a set of sisters.
Oh. Wow.
But I like to say, well, it is California after all. So, yeah.
Whoa, look at this ship. What's the story on that?
Okay, sir, that was an English clipper ship, the Respicadero, that hit the submerged rocks just off the coast here in broad daylight. So it wasn't the lighthouse's fault, but that red buoy marks the point where there's submerged rocks. And they say the navigator was drunk. That's why he didn't notice on his navigational charts that there's submerged rocks.
Because usually there's wreckage there and there's a dive, but we're always looking for wrecks to dive on.
Well, that's a good point. As a matter of fact, you'd be interested to learn that even in those days, they had the technology to blow up a giant balloon inside the damaged hull, refloat it enough to get it to dry dock and repair the ship. It actually went back to England.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that? Look at the uniform. Look like their hands did.
And what is this right here? What is this? Just a regular bedroom?
This was the original master bedroom. There's a long story to that, but
That's where they told everybody, sleep tight.
exactly. Yeah, so because there is a rope bed in here, we demonstrate that because a lot of people don't know or understand that they had to take a special tool and tighten up the grid of ropes once in a while. So that's where we get the saying, good night, sleep tight. But what's the other part of that old saying?
The bed was high.
Yeah, that came from the fact that they made their own mattresses. They took this simple ticking material, sewed it together into a large sack, and filled the sack with anything from the barnyard, like chicken feathers or straw or hay. And if you weren't very careful, you did have bed bugs. It was such a common problem, they had the older children of the household every 6 months or so empty out all the mattresses and all the pillows with those bad old bed bugs, burning it to kill the hay, to kill the bed bugs. But they started the cycle all over again by filling the sacks with horsehair or corn husks or straw or hay. So that's where we get the old saying, let's hit the sack or let's hit the hay.
Let's get
Oh yeah. Folks, we're going up in the tower now, but I leave it up to your own discretion. If you have a bad heart, bad knees, bad back, or anything else that makes it hard going up 3 more flights of stairs, please don't, because we have no elevator, no way to get you down. So I leave it up to your own
She just had
discretion.
her knee replaced.
It's good now.
It's good
We're
now.
not gonna run up and we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
do it all
Nice
at
and
once.
easy.
We'll take it
Months-
nice and
2 months
easy
ago?
Yes.
and take all the photos you want from here on.
Oh, nice.
What's not original are these handrails. These were added for our convenience.
Oh, yeah, these are not steep steps. They're not as steep as my steps at home.
Don't worry, we'll get the view when we, this has a bad shutter right now, so we can't
Okay.
open it. But we'll get the view in the next 2 levels. So, this is the workroom where they just kept extra tools and supplies. It's just the first level of the tower. What's not original is this thing right here in the middle. This was added during World War II. Did I mention? I guess I haven't because this window's not open, so. You were probably wondering what that White House at the end is.
Yes.
Yeah, that was built during World War II.
To the battery, wasn't it?
Well, no, that was part of, that was where the barracks, where the servicemen who served on the top of our tower, they had radar on the top of our tower all during the war. Remember, they declared blackout conditions along the entire West Coast. They took the lens that you saw downstairs, they took it out of our lantern room and put it in our basement. And shortly after that, it was stolen, missing for 65 years. But they had radar equipment on the top of our tower during the war, and they needed more space. So they took down our beautiful lantern room, and they built this ugly-looking thing that the locals hated. They called it the chicken coop. So that's where at least there was at least 2 servicemen at all times up there with the radar equipment.
Cool.
And over there is where they barracked. So let's go on up to the next level.
Question. I heard that it's haunted. Is it haunted?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on a lot of things. I always answer that I don't know because they're invisible.
Because I seen a spooky night at something, and the next event, spooky something.
Yeah, they during Halloween they have 2 spooky. Well, one is spooky night, and the other one is a spooky or a haunted house during the day for little kids. So it gets all dressed up for Halloween.
Okay.
It's definitely haunted then. Okay, so this is the watch room. This is where the keepers took different watches of the night. And they weren't watching with binoculars out in with the ocean for ships. They were watching a light right above them to make sure that light was lit from dusk until dawn, no matter what. And to make sure the windows were clean so the light was getting out to the mariners. Well, you can hear the sea lions. They love to get out on that red buoy out there and just bask. There's usually about 6 of them at a time. Doesn't seem like there would be room enough for them, but that is a mile away.
The boy is?
Yeah, you just wouldn't believe it, but it is.
Yeah, could be one. Right, I have a boat gun in Redondo, and right outside the harbor, we have a buoy out there, and it's always
Covered with sea
covered
lions,
with
right?
sea lions.
Yeah. Well, and when we get up to the next level, oh darn, today it's so foggy that you can't see Catalina at all.
It is
But
real.
on a good day, especially after rain like we've been having, with no fog, it feels like you can reach out and touch the island.
Wow, awesome.
Can people go in that house right there?
It's not open to the public yet. It was just signed over by the federal government along with this lighthouse to the city of LA just last
That's
month.
last.
Really?
Okay.
And so they're fixing it up. They've done the outside, or at least gotten a lot of the old overgrown bushes and shrubs out. So little by little they're gonna.
No, it just
get
needs a
ready
good
for-
paint job.
Yes, it needs a lot of it in the inside. Because it was vacant, totally vacant for at least 5 years. But for many decades it was a vacation home for the military.
Wow. What a heck of a deal there.
Yeah. Well, let's go up to the final level, the lantern room. Now this lantern room is where that light or lantern that you saw on the first level was right up until World War II. And then, of course, they built the larger chicken coop up here, and so this had to be restored. This was fully restored in 2002, according to original specifications. It's the only part of the lighthouse that had to be fully restored. Please watch your step.
Wooden shingles. Wooden shingles.
There's a handhold here above your head. Be very careful not to trip on this thing in the middle.
Oh, is this beautiful?
Yes, this is the room with the view. Now, there's a tripping hazard here in the middle, so you have to be very
Watch
careful.
that, Ray.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're lucky, you only have 3 in your tour. A lot of times we have 6 to 10. Can you imagine how crowded it gets up here?
Well, then we did good. We did good.
Yes.
We'd have probably been here several days ago, except she come to visit, and it's been raining.
Right, yeah, she brought the rain with her, huh?
Well, other than at home, now they're getting snow.
Well, if it were colder, we would have had a foot of snow. If it
Really?
had been colder, but yeah, hardly ever gets that cold here.
I was gonna say, at my home, they're supposed to get a foot of
I
snow
think
tomorrow.
1976 was the last significant snow, and that was like an inch, lasted a day.
Becky, how high up?
Actually, the bluff is 100 foot above sea level, and then the house being 5 stories tall, so we're 150 foot above sea level at this point.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then 2.5 miles away at the end of the breakwater is that other lighthouse built in 1913. That's the
Yeah,
Angels Gate
yeah.
Lighthouse. Now that's only 3 stories tall, so it's 30 feet above sea level.
Uh-huh.
But it looks so small from here because it's 2.5 miles away.
Yeah, when I was diving with these
It's okay.
Hawaiian guys, we would walk right about to where it takes the bed.
Yeah, you lived in the good old days when they didn't have all these rules and regulations and insurance problems. Now that's totally forbidden. You cannot get out there because too many people have been washed off and died.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we do. Oh, jeez.
Well, that was in the
I go nuts
60s.
out there.
Yeah,
Hey, that's when men were men.
yeah.
It's amazing how we survived all these things. We rode in the back of the truck, hanging out and shouting and all these
Mhm.
things, and now,
Nice.
Be sure and see our living statuary on top of our chimney.
Need to go slow
Okay.
and safe. There we go. Now we got regular steps. Yeah, there's only moss on there.
And notice this floor is painted a little differently over here. Well, during World War II, they had sentries that got tired of running down 5 flights of stairs to go to the restroom, so they built a little enclosure here. This was their toilet.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Lawrence behind the camera, doing an audit on this post office in Long Beach. I don't know if anybody ever audited, but I'm right here. So let's see what happens.
Daniel, I need to see you in the master's office when you finish with your customer.
All right, you guys. Oh yeah, by the way, I just came back from the San Pedro Lighthouse. I hope you enjoy the vlog. But here is the post office. Let's go in. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay, come in, press the one.
You have to pay for, if you want a lock change, you have to pay for a lock change. That's what I wanted him to pull up. So I just wanted to talk to him. I don't know why.
Hi.
He gave me the regular one.
May I speak to your supervisor?
That will be both of us. How do we help you?
Yeah, I was wondering if you're familiar with your poster 7. Are you familiar with your poster 7 regarding photography? And if you agree with it?
No, I have no idea. I'm looking for the imposter.
Can I talk to somebody though?
With the manager.
Yeah, manager, please. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I was wondering about your poster 7. Regarding photography, I want to know what you think about it and if you agree with it.
I'm at the point where I just watch everything I've got, why he chose something, and something else was said.
So what do you want to do?
I'm doing a First Amendment audit
You do
to see a First Amendment audit, see how much people respect our civil rights, about free photography, free media, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion.
So do you have like a business card so I can contact the
I don't-
postmaster?
I don't have a business card, but I can give you my number.
Okay, yeah, so anything that's regarding photography has to be approved by the postmaster.
Is he here today?
They're located at 300 North Palm Beach Boulevard.
Okay, can I give you my number so you can get in touch with me?
Okay, is this mine?
This is mine. And you guys have it. You guys have it posted up somewhere around.
We have it.
You're supposed to, yeah, you're supposed to have this poster 7 in your wall.
I haven't seen that before.
You haven't
Can
seen
I
it?
make a copy of it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And I need I need your company name.
I'll give you a number.
Okay, what is your number?
My number is area code 562 382 9216. My name is Lawrence.
LAWRNCE.
RENC, yes. RENC.
And you're from what organization?
I'm just civil rights.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay,
I'll make a
thank you.
phone.
For sure. Yeah, I'm taking yes.
Why?
For my personal records.
Okay. All right. Thank you for waiting. Okay,
Yes.
so here's the.
Don't worry, you look good on camera.
This is your paperwork here,
Yes.
and then this is the number you will call.
Okay, thank you. All right, you guys. I'm leaving the post office. Tell me how I did. Let me know in the comments. So, yeah, once again, I'm out of here. I'm out of here.